Don't curse, don't argue, don't hand over the wheel of your emotions to someone else. Inner peace doesn't shatter in a single blow. It erodes gradually, one sharp word at a time, one dismissive glance, one shattered expectation after another. Before you even realize what's happened, you've already surrendered your power to people and circumstances that were never worth it. But what if you could build something stronger than anger? What if you could armor yourself in traffic, at home, in the office, anywhere life decided to test you? In this video, you're going to discover 10 silent disciplines that the Stoics practiced to free themselves permanently from the grip of irritation. And by the time we reach the end, you'll understand something profound. Peace isn't a reward handed to you. It's something you build brick by brick every single day. It is your most powerful weapon. Marcus Aurelius put it plainly: true calm cannot be defeated. Stoicism doesn't train you to be cold. It trains you to be unbreakable. You don't get to decide what the world throws at you, but you are in complete control of what you throw back. Discipline 1. Breathe before you react. Picture this. It's 7 in the morning and your day is already loaded. Meetings stacked on top of meetings, a deadline breathing down your neck. You're running late, your mind is racing, and suddenly a driver cuts right in front of you. Aggressive, reckless, and then has the audacity to lay on the horn as if you were the one at fault. Every nerve in your body wants to snap back. Your foot moves toward the pedal, your hand heads for the horn. But Epictetus saw this trap 2,000 years ago, and his warning still cuts like a blade. It is never the events themselves that disturb us. It is the story we tell ourselves about those events. What actually happened has no power over you. What you decide it means, that is where your peace lives or dies. In that razor-thin moment between trigger and response, you have a choice. React on autopilot and hand a stranger the keys to your emotional state, or pause, pull a slow breath into your chest, and remind yourself that your tranquility is worth infinitely more than winning a pointless exchange with someone you'll never see again. Breathing before you react isn't weakness. It's an invisible shield you raise between impulse and consequence. The next time you feel heat rising in your chest, ask yourself honestly, is this worth even a fraction of my energy? Real freedom lives in that gap between feeling the urge and choosing how to respond. Discipline. 2. Observe. Don't absorb. Think back to the last time someone dropped a careless comment in your direction. Maybe it wasn't even something major, just a snide remark, a condescending tone, a word aimed slightly wrong, and yet it followed you around for the rest of the day, replaying on a loop inside your head, growing louder each time. Why does that happen? Because you left the door open. You allowed someone else's noise to occupy space inside your mind without being invited. Epictetus was blunt about this. If someone manages to wound you, it is your own judgment that creates the injury, not them. You are not obligated to receive the poison someone else is trying to hand you. Think of your mind as a well-kept home. Would you let a stranger track mud through your living room without a second thought? Then why allow toxic words to trample freely through your inner world? When something offensive reaches your ears, treat it like a knock at the door. You hear it, you acknowledge it, and you choose not to answer. Watch it, recognize it for what it is, and then let it slide past you without taking root. This single practice protects your mental energy for the things that genuinely deserve it. Discipline 3. Refuse to wage pointless wars. Have you ever noticed how certain arguments begin as a minor disagreement and somehow inflate into a full-blown battle of egos? One person expresses a different opinion, another fires back a loaded comment, and suddenly 30 minutes have evaporated, or 3 hours, in a debate that was never going to produce anything useful for either side. Marcus Aurelius counseled his fellow Stoics to sidestep these empty clashes entirely. Petty disputes, he warned, drag the soul away from where it needs to be going. Before you feel pulled to engage the next provocation that comes your way, press pause and ask yourself a hard question. If I somehow emerge victorious from this argument, what do I actually walk away with? 9 times out of 10, you'll realize the honest answer is nothing. Nothing except exhaustion and a slightly elevated heart rate. Choosing silence over a pointless confrontation is one of the clearest signals of genuine wisdom, not timidity. You are not obligated to enter every arena someone opens for you. The cost of your peace is far too high to be wagered on empty victories. Discipline. 4. Rewrite the interpretation, not the event. Suppose a colleague delivers a sharp critique of something you've worked hard on. Your first reflex might be to feel wronged, bruised, maybe even furious. That's a deeply human response, but Seneca saw through it centuries ago. He argued that we suffer far more from our interpretation of what happens to us than from the events themselves. A criticism at its core is nothing more than vibrations moving through air. What stings is the meaning your mind wraps around those vibrations. The extraordinary truth is that you have the power to change that meaning entirely. Rather than landing in the mindset of "I was attacked," shift the question to, "What can this teach me?" Or even, "Does this criticism actually reflect who I am, or does it simply reveal the limitations of the person delivering it?" Rewriting the narrative is how you reclaim authority over your own emotional state. The very same words that could have diminished you become raw material for your growth. Feedback transforms from ammunition against your self-worth into fuel that propels you forward. Discipline 5. Release the expectation that others are. How many times have you been quietly devastated because someone didn't show up the way you would have shown up for them? You give generously. You stay loyal through difficulty. You keep your word, even when keeping it costs you something. And somewhere underneath all of that, you carry an unspoken assumption that the world operates by the same code you live by, that loyalty should be met with loyalty, care with care, integrity with integrity. Marcus Aurelius had a more sobering view. Expect people to act according to who they actually are, not who you wish they were. Every human being moves through the world from their own specific level of awareness, shaped by their own wounds, their own blind spots, their own unresolved history. Hoping for ripe fruit from a tree that isn't ready to bear it doesn't make the fruit appear. It only deepens your disappointment. Accepting that others are fundamentally different from you and that many are simply operating with limited capacity in certain areas is not a surrender to the world's imperfections. It is a profound act of self-protection. The next time someone lets you down, remind yourself you planted your seed with full integrity. What someone else does or doesn't harvest is their story, not yours. Discipline 6. Govern your body to govern your mind. Here is something most people overlook entirely. When frustration rises inside you, your body registers it first. Your shoulders climb toward your ears. Your jaw clenches tight. Your hands curl almost involuntarily. The physical machinery of combat activates well before your conscious mind has even formed a coherent thought about what's happening. Epictetus understood this sequence clearly and taught accordingly. Master the visible reactions first, and the invisible ones, the thoughts and emotions, will follow. Rage is a physical phenomenon long before it becomes an emotional one. When you consciously choose to soften your body in the middle of provocation, when you deliberately drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and draw a slow, deliberate breath, you send an unmistakable signal to your nervous system. I am in control here. The body is both the thermometer that reads your internal temperature and the thermostat that can reset it. The next time you catch the early physical signs of rising tension, don't wait for the mental storm to arrive. Work with the body right then. Ask yourself, Do I want my physical state to broadcast tension, vacuum, or stillness? Discipline. 7. Step away from what destabilizes you. There's a particular kind of quiet self-damage we inflict on ourselves when we insist on staying in environments that continuously erode our peace. Situations where aggression is the default language, relationships that seem designed to test our limits at every turn, social circles that thrive on chaos and leave us completely drained every single time. We stay out of obligation or habit or fear of what stepping away might signal. But Epictetus was unambiguous. Move away from what doesn't strengthen your soul. You are not required to sit in the blast radius of someone else's dysfunction. Removing yourself from corrosive environments or conversations carries no requirement of hatred or bitterness. It is simply a quiet, deliberate choice to honor what is most valuable inside you, your peace of mind. There is extraordinary dignity in recognizing what consistently diminishes you and choosing not to remain in its presence. Ask yourself honestly, does this environment lift me, or does it consistently pull me under? If the answer is clear, then so is the path forward. Discipline 8. Practice Stoic empathy. When someone treats you poorly, the immediate instinct is to retaliate, to defend yourself by going on the offensive. It's one of the most automatic reactions in the human catalogue. Yet Marcus Aurelius challenged his own students to respond to insult with a different kind of question. What if this person simply doesn't know what they're doing? The vast majority of people who behave badly toward others are not acting from a place of power. They're acting from pain, from insecurity, from wounds they've never examined or addressed, doing the best they can with the inner resources they've managed to build, which in many cases are severely limited. When you begin to see rudeness and hostility through that lens, something remarkable shifts. The anger starts to lose its grip. Compassion doesn't require you to approve of someone's behavior. It simply means you understand that behavior as a symptom of something deeper, not a verdict on your worth. The next time someone acts unjustly or lashes out in your direction, try asking yourself, what must this person be carrying inside right now to behave this way? Seeing past the surface act to the hidden weight beneath it is a genuinely liberating practice. It protects you from absorbing someone else's bitterness and dragging it through the rest of your day. Discipline. 9. Guard your attention for what truly matters. Think about how much energy you've lost, not to major crises, but to minor irritants. A line that won't move, a message written in the wrong tone, an opinion that wasn't asked for and isn't worth a second thought. When we hand our attention to small things, we bleed out the fuel that should be powering the things that actually shape our lives. Epictetus tied this directly to the question of genuine contentment. Real satisfaction depends on knowing where to direct your focus. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every provocation has earned your energy. Before investing any emotional energy in an irritation, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 days? Will it matter in 5 years? When the answer to both is no, you already have your instructions. Let it pass without ceremony. Channel that energy instead toward your goals, your relationships, your craft, your development. The people who seem to carry an unusual and almost effortless sense of calm aren't living easier lives than everyone else. They've simply mastered the discipline of refusing to spend their most precious resource on things that were never worth a single moment of it. Discipline 10. Embrace emotional detachment. How much of your mental energy has gone toward trying to control things that were never yours to control? What someone else thinks about you, how someone else behaves, how someone else chooses to respond in a given moment. That relentless effort to manage what lies outside your jurisdiction is precisely where irritation is born and kept alive. Seneca phrased the antidote with characteristic precision. Desire that things unfold as they are meant to unfold, and you will move through life with genuine serenity. Emotional detachment is not indifference or disconnection. It is the clear-eyed acceptance that your sovereignty ends at the borders of your own mind. The moment you release the compulsion to reshape other people's choices and reactions, you reconnect with the one domain where your power is absolute, your own inner world. Your thoughts, your interpretations, your responses, these belong entirely to you, and no circumstance can strip them away unless you surrender them willingly. The external world will always be unpredictable, loud and messy, but your interior world can be built into a fortress that nothing from outside can breach. Irritation is not a sign of strength. It is a signal that something external has temporarily seized the controls of your inner life. Those who carry real strength don't broadcast it through outbursts, they demonstrate it through stillness. They breathe deeply when everything around them is demanding a reaction. They hold their peace precisely when the world is offering them war. Each of the 10 disciplines you've encountered here isn't a shortcut or a trick, it's a seed. And like every seed, it requires daily tending, patience, and the willingness to begin again on the days when it doesn't come easily. Tomorrow, someone will likely test you. Next week, something will push against your calm. But you are now equipped with something most people never stop long enough to develop: the understanding that whoever holds true dominion over themselves cannot be dominated by anything or anyone else. That understanding changes everything. Which of these 10 disciplines do you most need to put into practice right now in the specific circumstances of your life? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know which one hit closest to home for you. If this content moved something in you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and pass this video along to someone whose life could benefit from reclaiming power over their own emotions. Remember, self-respect begins from the inside out. Freedom grows from self-mastery. And peace, real, lasting peace, is the quiet achievement of those who choose again and again to be larger than whatever tries to provoke them.